MAGA Republicans are still at it, trying to lie about the border deal they asked for and then reject it, still hoping to stick with the narrative that it would have allowed 5,000 illegal immigrants in a day, which we've thoroughly debunked in other videos, has been thoroughly debunked by Democrats as a whole. But to quickly revisit, it upped the standard for asylum claims, as well as putting more agents and funding into illegal entry points to make it harder to come illegally and then get into the country. And what they're talking about is if it ever reached 5,000, they would instantly shut the border down and not even take in liable asylum claims at that point. You have to be naive in the first place to just think that one, all asylum claims get accepted, or that two, with stronger asylum requirements, we would just be like, yeah, come on in. There's only 2,000 in here. Come on, bring your friends, bring your kid, tell your brother to come, you know? And the tiniest bit of time to just read these bills would show you this, but most people just want to go off the talking points that their favorite politician tells them. And on top of that, it gave the president unilateral power to shut it down at any point. So he could shut it down before this, and again, not even allowing justifiable asylum claims. And it had a pretty close outline to remain in Mexico for those other countries. It was a conservative fever dream, to say the least. I hated the bill. Any true progressive shouldn't have been a fan, but it is worth highlighting how Republicans pushed for exactly this. They asked for Ukraine funding to be attached to some sort of border funding, just to turn around and say, nah, sorry, it's election year. Can't do it. Here is MAGA Republican Beth Van Duyne getting absolutely shut down to her face by Brianna Keilar when she tries to push this exact lie.
When you look at catch and release, you have to look at what's causing it. And it's a judicial backlog, right, of people who are coming and they are applying for, excuse me, I let you speak, who are coming and looking for protection. Yeah. There's not enough room for everyone. So you have them being released, but the law that you said you don't need, the Senate deal, had it passed and become law, would have prevented that. It would have actually upped that credible, it would have upped that credible fear threshold. It would have upped that credible fear.
No, it actually wouldn't have. Yeah.
It
would have allowed 5,000 people in our country a day.
No, that's not true. And that's not true. And the Border Patrol Council,
as was coming through.
Ma'am, may I please speak, or I'm going to have to cut this. If you won't let me speak, I'm going to cut the interview off, and I will let you speak and finish sentences.
I would.
Okay, and please give me that respect as well.
Thank you very much.
So what I will say is the Border Patrol Council disagrees with you. They've been very frustrated with what you are representing as 5,000 people. That is actually a trigger.
This is how MAGA Republicans need to be treated, their feet being held to the fire over their actions without letting them obfuscate or muddy the waters. I love how she was cutting off the host and then acts like, oh, finally, you're going to let me talk, when the host is like, I'll let you speak, just let me say one thing. Jesus. MAGA doesn't want to be anything but obstructionist unless there's a Republican president in, and then, you know, they'll do everything he wants, and that's an issue. These same people would be upset if Democrats were doing this, if Trump was elected, but then they won't even pass bills that they ask for, let alone meaningfully legislate across the aisle. The issue that I see is that Trump brought in kind of a new wave of voters, and these MAGA voters, where this is the only kind of politics they know, they weren't really into it before Trump. So they think that this tribalism and being super partisan and just sticking to party lines and owning the libs instead of like legislating is what politics are about. They kind of have more of like a sports fandom about it rather than, you know, realizing this is something that affects their everyday life. And so they don't care about who's more efficient or willing to legislate. This really kind of started under Obama, sort of, with McConnell. He rolled the dice with it a little bit. And then Trump came in and really just rewrote the entire playbook.